Hello dear student, this is Kanchan Vishramji Kumbhalkar, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry of Sri Shivaji College of Arts, Commerce and Science Akola. This is my 5th lecture on Unit 4 Electrochemistry. The overall syllabus. Today's topic is on corrosion monitoring and protection from corrosion, or it is also considered as the corrosion prevention method. So let's start. Corrosion protection method. There are basically 5 different types of methods has been employed to minimize the rate of corrosion. First one is the design improvement. By improving a designs of machine and machine part, you can minimize the rate of corrosion. The next one, the change of metal. By changing a quality and composition of metal, you can minimize the rate of corrosion, like change of composition, then change of microstructure stress, then elimination of tensile stress, and then surface compression stress. By employing any one of the method to minimize, which is helpful to minimize the corrosion rate, because we know that if you use a maximum purest metal, it the rate of corrosion. Some corrosions are because of the stress, which is known as the stress corrosion, and by minimizing a tensile strength or compressive strength, then you can minimize the rate of corrosion. The third point is that change of environment. We know that the environment is a supportive. If it is a supportive to the corrosion, the rate of corrosion has been enhanced. So by minimizing or by changing the environment, you can minimize the rate of corrosion. Out of which there is the first point, that is removal of corrosive constituent. We know that oxygen and moisture are supporting to the corrosion. Hence, by removal of oxygen or by removal of moisture, you can minimize the rate of corrosion. Next one, corrosion inhibitor. Inhibitor means it is exactly working against like a catalyst. The catalyst enhance the rate of reaction, inhibitor against it, that is it minimize the rate of or inhibit the rate of reaction. So the corrosion inhibitors are the chemical which has been added which diminish the rate of corrosion, which delete the rate of corrosion. There are basically 3 types of inhibitors has been employed. First one is the passive corrosion inhibitor. Next one, adsorption corrosion inhibitor, and the last one, vapor phase corrosion inhibitor. Inhibitor work exactly against like a catalyst. Catalyst enhance the rate of reaction, inhibitor slow down the rate of reaction. Next point is by using a potential change of metal. We know that in electrochemical corrosion, the anode form and cathode form, and on anode always oxidation takes place, means corrosion of anode takes place. So in a potential change of metal, we have 2 methods. Either you protect a anodic way, so that is known as the anodic protection, and second one is the cathodic protection. By employing a cathode, then there is a protection happen, then it is known as the cathodic protection. The cathodic protection are further divided into 2 types. First one is the sacrificial anode, and another one is the impressed current, which we detail see in this lecture. Next one and the last one, but not the least, that is the coating. There are basically 3 different types of coating: organic, inorganic and metallic coating. So we know that electropetting, hot dipping process, etc., they are included in a metallic coating. And similarly, by using the inorganic material and organic material, the coating takes place, due to which the material has been remained protected from that of the corrosive atmosphere and the corrosive condition. Hence, by means of which the rate of corrosion has been diminished, and due to which the corrosion protection takes place. So this is all about the corrosion protection method in simple way. So let's start with the first point, that is the design and material selection. Design and material selection are the most important point to minimize the corrosion rate. The design of the material should be such that the corrosion, even if it is occur, is uniform and does not result in an intense and localized corrosion. So there are some important design principles, out of which the first is the contact of different metal in a presence of corroding should be avoided. If it is possible if you want to form a mechanical part of some machine, and if there is a possible to use only one type of metal, then use only one type of metal, due to which there is no formation of anode and cathode on the basis of electrochemical series. Hence the corrosion has been minimized there. Corrosion has been not happened there as the rate of normal when we are using a different two types of metal. So if it is possible, then you avoid the contact of two different metal, and it can be happened by using only one type of metal, or it can be happened by using a insulation in between the two metals. Next point, if an active metal is used, it should be insulated from more cathodic metal. Suppose it is not possible to use only one type of metal, then use a metal but the active metal. For example, if you are using aluminium and copper, aluminium is quite active on the basis of electrochemical series, hence it is act as an anode, and copper is act as that of the cathode. If it is happened, then you must insulate the anode and cathode. They must be insulated, they must remain isolated from each other, due to which the corrosion has been diminished or the rate of corrosion has been lowered down. Third point, if two metals are to be in a contact, they should be so selected that their oxidation potential are as near as possible. This point is depend on electrochemical series. If there is a very much gap in between the oxidation potential of two metal, then their rate of corrosion has been very high. But if in a electrochemical series the metal are quite nearer, then the corrosion occurred, but because of the oxidation potential or reduction potential difference is not large, then the rate of corrosion has been diminished. Means by using a different metal, so you have to prevent them to take in such a way that they are much nearer in a oxidation potential in electrochemical series, so due to which the rate of corrosion can be minimized. Next point, when two dissimilar metal are to be in a contact, the anodic material should have as large area as possible, and the cathodic material should have small area as possible. From point 4, it has been cleared that if there is an anode cathode has been formed, the metal has been connected, two dissimilar metal has been connected, then the anodic part or the anodic material, if you are using for the same example, that is aluminium and copper. If you are connecting the aluminium and copper, then take a aluminium area more as compared to the copper, due to which the rate of corrosion has been decreases. If you take a reciprocal, means the cathodic area is greater and anodic area is small, then the rate of corrosion, even though all factors are similar, even though the rate of corrosion has been very high when you are using a large area of cathode. Hence, to minimize of rate of corrosion, you have to just avoid the two dissimilar metal, but if it is not possible, then take a insulation. If it is happened, then you just use a area of anode large and cathode as a small area. Next, fifth point, when contact of dissimilar metal is unavoidable, then suitable insulator should be inserted in between them to reduce the current flow and attack on the anode. So this is the fifth point. Use if there is a dissimilar metal is unavoidable, then there should be a proper insulation, due to which the current flow has been reduced and due to which the anode get less attacked and the corrosion rate has been decreases. Next point, that is, if two dissimilar metal or if two metals have to be in a contact, a protective coating over both the metal will reduce the change of pitting. So hence, by using a insulation to both the metal, you have a chance to reduce the pitting corrosion. Next point, when a structure consists of two dissimilar metal, it is beneficial to use a more active third metal in contact so that the structure is saved from corrosion at the expense of third metal. For example, we have a two metal, aluminium and copper, and from aluminium is active, copper is less active, but aluminium is costly, so we have to introduce a third metal, for example zinc, which is available, which is cheap, and which is in a electrochemical series it is quite more active as compared to the aluminium. So by introducing a zinc, we can minimize the rate of corrosion on anode, that is aluminium, hence the aluminium rod has been get protected. So such type of condition can be considered by considering a third active metal, and due to which our metal piece has been get protected from that of the corrosion. Next point is that when the design allow for adequate cleaning and flushing of the critical part of the equipment, for example sharp corners and recesses should be avoided because they favor the formation of stagnant area and accumulation of solid. For example, these are the designs. In this case, there is a weld, there is a sharp corner. Suppose there is a chemical has been flowing through this. It is a possibility because of the sharp corner, the chemical can be not easily clean from here, and due to which there is a possibility of stagnant or accumulation of the solid, and due to which the corrosion rate can be enhanced here. Hence this design, because of it is having a sharp corner, it is declared as a poor design. Next one, in this case there is again a sharp corner. Suppose liquid has been flowing through this area, it is a more possibility than this, there is a accumulation of solid here and here. The recesses, the sharp corners must be avoided, due to which the proper flushing and cleaning can be possible, and due to which the corrosion rate has been diminished. But when we are considering this design, in this case there is the smooth bends, due to which there is no possibility of accumulation, there is a smooth cleaning, good flushing, and due to which this design is considered as the best design over all these two designs. Hence this design is declared, means by just differentiating a design, you can minimize the rate of corrosion in machineries, in industries. Then second example, in this case, this is the weld joint. In this case, if we are not welding joints are much more outside the welded part, then there is a possibility of accumulation of solid, dirt, and it is give a rate of corrosion. It support the rate of corrosion. Next one, the ninth point is that as far as possible, the equipment should be supported on the leg to allow free circulation of air and prevent the formation of stagnant pool or dam areas. Suppose you have some water container and that does not have a limb, there is no any area due to which the air can be passed through this basement of this container, due to which the air is not available here and there is a possibility of corrosion, and the rate of corrosion has been enhanced because of there is no availability of oxygen, free flowing aeration, and therefore aerated and non-aerated area has been formed, and hence the corrosion rate has been enhanced here because of only the design. But suppose we are considering such much design. This is the tank of water in which the legs are provided, and here is the some area due to which the air is supported here, and hence because of there is no aeration difference, and hence because of such design, the corrosion rate. The material is same, the conditions are same, environments are same, but because of this design, because of the aeration are available, hence the rate of corrosion has been least here as compared to the first design. Hence this design is declared as a poor design because it prevents the free circulation of air. But in this case, it is a best design because it allows free circulation of air and proper drainage and easy washing. Next, 10 point, the uniform flow of corrosion liquid is desirable since both stagnant area and highly turbulent flow are high velocity can cause accelerated corrosion. So highly impingement condition of flowing liquid should be avoided as much as practically possible. 11th point is a proper design should prevent conditions subjecting some area of structure to the stress. Hence, in such area, if you could set up a galvanic couple with non-stressed area of the metal, due to which the stress has been minimizing and the corrosion rate has been also minimized. Next point, use the purest possible metal. The noble metals are more immune to the corrosion, but they cannot be used for general purpose. For example, gold and silver are not easily get corroded, but you are not able, economically it is not possible to use everywhere a gold, platinum or such type of noble metals. Hence the next choice is to use the purest possible metal. Even minute iron in magnesium or the lead in a zinc, it is very much casting alloy may be highly detrimental. So by simple doping of a metal, impurity of metal, the corrosion rate can be enhanced. So it has been taken that the purest possible metal which remove the rate of corrosion. And the last point, that is 13 point, is that both corrosion resistance and strength of many metal can be improved by alloying. So several corrosion resistance alloy have been developed for specific purpose and environment. For example, stainless steel containing chromium produce an exceptionally coherent oxide film which protect the steel from further attack. So this is all about the designing and material to prevent that of the corrosion rate or minimize the corrosion rate. Now next point is the cathodic and anodic protection. Now as earlier stated that this is the cathodic protection. There are two types of protection, either sacrificial anode or by impressed current anode. Now in a sacrificial anode, suppose we are considering anode aluminium, then next one copper as a cathode on the basis of electrochemical series. But if we are applying a third metal, if you are inserting a third metal, for example, we are using aluminium combined with that of the copper. Now in this case, aluminium is act as that of the anode and copper is act as that of the cathode. Aluminium is active than copper. But if you are introducing a third metal, that is zinc, which is more active than aluminium, then in this case copper remain as a cathode, it is act as a cathode, but instead of aluminium the zinc here act as a anode and the corrosion takes place on anode. Hence in place of aluminium zinc has been get sacrificed. Hence in place of aluminium, which is act as an anode here, but because of insertion of third metal, now zinc is act as a anode because it is highly active as compared to aluminium on the basis of electrochemical series. Then the zinc get corroded, aluminium remain protected. Then such type of condition or protection is known as the sacrificial anode cathodic protection method. Means in simple sacrificial anode cathodic protection method, we are inserting a third metal and that metal has been get corroded in place of the initial anode and this metal gets sacrificed. instead of aluminium. This method is known as the sacrificial anode method. Now, next method is that the impressed current cathodic protection method. This method. In this method, it is an impressed current cathodic protection method. In this case, the anode and cathodes are there because of the electrochemical series corrosion has been started, but we are giving a high inverse DC power to the anode, due to which a negative current to the anode, due to which its anodic character has been suppressed and it is act as a cathode. Then there is a impressed current has been given. The current has been given due to which the character of anode is turned to the cathode. Hence there is a impressed current is supplied, and due to which the anode is not behaving, no more behaving as the anode, and it remain protected, or the rate of corrosion has been diminished here. And this method is known as the impressed current method. So these are the two important methods: sacrificial anodic cathodic protection method and impressed current cathodic protection method. Now let's move toward the next point, that is the modifying the environment. The corrosive nature of the environment can be reduced either by the removal of harmful constituent or by the addition of specific substances which neutralize the effect of corrosive constituent of the environment. There are basically different four concepts on the basis of modification of environment. First one is the de-aeration. In oxygen concentration type of corrosion, exclusion of oxygen from the aqueous environment reduce the metal corrosion. So by where the concentration, because of the concentration of oxygen, the corrosion happened. In that condition, if you are removing the oxygen, de-aeration takes place, then oxygen concentration is decreased there, and due to which the rate of corrosion has been again diminished. Expulsion of dissolved oxygen is done by adjustment of temperature together with mechanical agitation. The method also used to reduce the CO2 content of water. CO2, if the CO2 content in water is high, then it is considered as that of the acidic in condition. So by this method, the CO2 content of water can be decreased, the corrosion rate of the steel pipeline carrying the steam condensed from that of the boiler. This is all about the de-aeration. Deactivation, second point. It involves the addition of chemicals which are capable of combining rapidly with that of the oxygen in aqueous solution, for example sodium sulfite. When sodium sulfite has been added, then it absorbs the oxygen and it removes the free oxygen, and due to which the oxidation by means of oxygen, means the corrosion by means of oxygen, the rate of corrosion has been reduced. Third one is the dehumidification, means water content in a condition. It reduces the moisture content of air to such an extent that the amount of water condensed on metal is too small to cause corrosion. For example, alumina or silica gel, which absorb moisture preferentially on their surfaces, which are used only in closed area like air conditioning shop. One more dehumidification, when we received any chocolate or any medicine, there is a small material, gel type material is inserted there in packing, which is the dehumidifier. So by means of which the moisture content reduces, and hence the rate of corrosion is also reduces. And the last point is that alkaline neutralization. It consists of preventing the corrosion by neutralizing the acidic characters of corrosive environment. Due to the presence of HCl, H2S, SO2, CO2, etc., the condition become acidic, and by applying a alkaline condition, the neutralization process takes place, and this is nothing but a alkaline neutralization. Such alkaline neutralizers like ammonia, NaOH, lime, etc., are generally injected either in vapor or liquid form to the corroding system or to its part. This method has been widely used in controlling the corrosion of refinery equipment. So this is all about the point regarding the modifying the environment. Now next points are the metallic coating, which are containing electroplating, hot dipping process, vaporizing, metal spraying, cementation, metal cladding. And the last 2 points, inorganic non-metallic coating, which contain chemical zip coating on surface conversion, anodized oxide coating, and vitreous enamel coating, and the finally organic coating. So in next lecture we will deal with the metallic coating, all this type, inorganic non-metallic coating and organic coating. So up till then, take care, be safe, stay safe, study hard. Thank you very much.